king. His life is more dangerous with each sunrise.
Cyberpunk and movies about robots and cyborgs and shit are a big chunk of my childhood. Besides the big obvious films like Blade Runner, Terminator, RoboCop, I was also constantly watching the Z to B grade versions of these films from studios like Canon, New World Pictures, New Image, and random rip-off exploitation studios. I just had a total bone for cyborg warrior robot films. I still to this day think that these are some of the greatest stories ever told. Whether it was rented from video stores or marathons on Channel 14, I was watching and loving movies like Nemesis, Cyborg, American Cyborg, Steel Warrior, Cyber Tracker, Rotor, Robot Jocks, Hands of Steel, and of course, the Cyborg Cop films.
Part RoboCop. Part Terminator. Cyborg Cop. Only from Vidmark Entertainment.
When I was but a wee lad, my favorite movies in the world were RoboCop 1 and 2 and Terminator 1 and 2, so to have a whole franchise dedicated to both cyborgs and cops was like a godsend. I would watch Cyborg Cop whenever it was on TV, which for some reason in the later mid-90s was a lot. I would often be channel surfing on some boring, rainy British Columbian day, and pow, there's David Bradley doing battle with cyborgs, or John Rhys Davies screaming about science.
Science!
The first two Cyborg Cop films are directed by Sam Furstenberg, which, if that name rings a bell for you, you're definitely in the right place. He's responsible for what many people, including myself, would consider to be some of Canon's best films. Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3, American Ninja, American Samurai, Avenging Force, and goddamn Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Not only a huge and talented contributor of action and ninja movies alike, but the contributor of the most infamous movie about breakdancing ever made. Cyborg Cop 1 stars David Bradley, Todd Jensen, Alona Shaw, and veteran actor John Rhys Davies. Top cop Philip Ryan and his team are ambushed during an operation on a Caribbean island. Philip is captured, killed, and turned into a cyborg cop. It's up to his brother Jack Ryan to find him and put a stop to the evil science doings of Dr. Kessel. I'm surprised this entry in the Tom Clancy Ryan-verse isn't talked about much. It's a hell of a lot more interesting than a hunt for some red submarine. Cyborg Cop is a top-notch, straight-to-video action film that never fails to entertain me. I've always very much enjoyed David Bradley as an action hero guy, and he more than delivers the goods here. We get some nice shootouts, well-choreographed fight sequences, a ton of explosions, and even some really gruesome gore. There's a top bad guy cyborg in the film that's just simply called Cyborg, and he really pushes people's shit in. He fucks up Jack's brother pretty good before Kessel turns him into Cyborg Philip, and there's this great scene where Kessel is showing Cyborg off to some bigwigs so they can see how amazing his creations are. We get some really cool Terminator-esque shots of like half-exposed robo-cyber parts, and he does this. Like, I love the Terminator movies, but what did Arnold really do the first time he shows up? He, like, punches a hole through Brian Thompson's chest or stomach. It's hard to really tell. And then he shoves the other guys around. Now, imagine if he just grabbed a guy and just punched a hole directly through his head. Automatically, Terminator would be about 100 times better.
Science!
A year later, we are treated to Cyborg Cop 2, which doesn't actually feature any cyborg cops. But David Bradley returns as top cop Jack Ryan, and it's described in one of the summaries of the movie as a fancy loner cop. Fancy? Well, he does have some rather Swayze-worthy hair, and that fanny pack is hanging pretty low. He wears that damn thing for pretty much the entire film. Not only that, but with a level of confidence and swagger that displays some serious big dick energy. You heard it here, folks. The fanny pack is a power move.
Can he stop a deadly new generation of cyborg? The battle has begun. Cyborg Cop 2.
This time around, we get TV regular Morgan Hunter as criminal warlord Jesse Starkraven, who is responsible for many deaths, including Jack Ryan's new partner. Jack thinks Jesse is going on death row, but is secretly whisked away into an underground counterterrorism program using death row inmates as prime candidates for Cyborg Commando Squad. Kinda like RoboCop 2 with Kane, but not nearly as fleshed out. Starkraven is already a cyborg within 15 minutes or so of the film, and then within another 5 minutes or so, he's already self-aware and takes command of the other cyborg commandos to kickstart the Skynet robot revolution. Jack Ryan doesn't even find out till later that Starkraven isn't even himself anymore, but that he's now Spartacus, the ultimate in cyborg warrior killing machines. I think it would have been a little more interesting if Starkraven went bad due to him being a bad guy to begin with, but he seems to go self-aware as Spartacus just so we can have a Terminator-esque machines go self-aware for the world domination plot. Which honestly is forgivable because this is Cyborg Cop 2. I'm happy as long as we get David Bradley in a fanny pack kicking people in the head and some explosions. Cyborg Cop 2 is a lot of fun. It's a worthy sequel, but it doesn't quite match up to the ending of the first one, which features Jack Ryan decapitating a cyborg with a fucking dirt bike. And on that note, I'm going to make this fucker a two-parter for the extra views. Stay tuned for next time for more trivia, Cyborg Cop 3, and whatever happened to David Bradley.
Science!